Hello everyone. I graded some of your homework and I saw that people are having trouble using idle as well as people have trouble appreciating what variables are and how to use them. So first and foremost, you are expected to watch all the videos for a week and review the book material, and only then approach the quizzes and other assignments. So in an in-class setting, we would be meeting for 3 hours, and I would, in the very least, expect you to spend another 3 hours at home on reviewing and assignments and running your program and debugging your program and submitting it. And that is not really a big number to me, especially if you don't have prior experience with programming. Some of the things may take hours, and you are expected to ask questions, but also at some point you are expected to start grinding through some coding issues and making sure that your code actually runs, because that's a part of what being programmer is. It's not typing code, it's before you typed something up and after you typed something up, you are making sure that it works and it does what you originally intended for it to do. And that part may take time. So as an example right now, I'm going to look at one of the previous homeworks. So that is the homework and I can see it in student view. So this is close to what you guys have been seeing. So first of all, let me download it. And for download, I did prepare a demo folder. So that's where I'm going to download it. And let us see. So I can click over here on download. That's one way to do it. And it's asking me where I want it to go. So this is my demo folder. And this file is a starter, so it's a Python file, and now it is downloaded in this folder. You can see it there. However, if you just click on it by default, with you probably installing everything with default values, it will run, but you will not be able to look at it and edit it comfortably. So what you want to do is open idle. My way of opening idle is this. You can do it differently if you like. And then I open this file. So again, desktop, demo. Here is the file that I want to open. All right, so this is a file, a starter file that I wanted. And now a few things for those of you who did not get too many points for this homework. What I want you to do, I want you to modify this file. So maybe I want to save it right away with my name. It's always convenient when students save file with their first name, last name. For me, so I saved it as my file and I'm going to modify it. Everyone understood what to do on question 1, and most people understood what to do on question 2. So I want to uncomment and I want to run this and debug. So what do I mean? I run, as I'm showing right now. Invalid syntax, I forgot a comma. That's what it thinks. In fact, I did not forget a comma. And if you have been following my lecture, you know what is wrong, and you remember what is wrong. So right now we have a string consisting of I, and the rest of it cannot be really interpreted by Python. It wants to interpret it as variable names, and it's not. So it doesn't make sense to it. So to fix that, one way, the intended way to solve this problem, is using the so-called escape character, backslash, and then the apostrophe or quotation mark. So this is better. Let's run it again. And again, undetermined string literal. And by the way, let me keep this for longer. The more programming you do, the more this will be meaningful for you. And error messages is something that you need to be able to interpret and understand and work accordingly, and it all comes with experience. So in this case, if you read it carefully, you know what it means is Python does not know where this string ends, because it should end with a quotation mark. If it started with a double quotation mark, which some of you did do, then it should end with a double quotation mark. In this case, it starts with a single quotation mark, and it should end with a single quotation mark. So now this result will be printed. I mean, without the triple quotation. Triple quotation is used for multi-line comments, by the way. Okay, here we go. So, hi, and this is where the program runs, and you can write some commands over here one by one, but it's highly inefficient and you really don't want to be doing that. And now that you are looking at how your program ran, you can compare it against the original code and make some conclusions. So print, hi all, I'm your first homework. So that is done. Now print, I'll be learning Python this semester. That works. And the rest of it needs to be fixed. So I did not look at that problem. Okay, so there is a big fat hint use input, and whenever you are doing some problem solving, it's good to look down through all the problems that you have, and with any luck you recognize that you have some variables here, first name and last name, and they should be defined over here. It's enough to define them once, and you will ask user to put in first name and last name, not my name, not your name, some name that you cannot foresee right now, but it should work for any two strings, whatever the user wants to put in. And the way to do it, well, for last name I'll leave it empty, not empty, but like just blank space string. And for first name I'm using input. I'm using it like this, and I need some prompt like enter your first name. And similarly for the second one, but I'm not gonna do that. So now this should execute. And I have a sep, which is a separation, many blank spaces, and you want, that would be the next problem, you will want to change that. So run, let me finish with this one, first name and last name. So enter my first name, and I'm going to enter whatever the username would be. And so what happened? We take the user input, we save it in a variable. Unless you do that, there will be no way to reference it later, and it will be garbage collected immediately. Any input that was not saved, or any variable that was like value that was not saved, if Python does not see a corresponding variable, it just garbage collects it, because there is no way to use it later, and really you don't need to store some nonsense in the memory that cannot be used. Okay, so the way I'm referencing the user input, in this case John, I'm calling the variable first name. So print first name. First name is actually pointing to a slot in the memory that contains this string John that was input earlier, and that is how this printing statement works. So the results of this printing statement can be seen over here. And the sep is, as you hopefully remember from the lecture, is the separator, and I can change it to anything I like. I mean, pretty much anything I like. And my first name this time will be Alan. And 4 stars is just a separator that I chose. But technically, it's blank space. Be careful here. 4 stars and another blank space. Now, moving to this problem, you want to change the separator to print the first name and last name under each other. So you need to change this to something that will do it. And again, hint, you might need an escape character for that. And last but not least, you want to look at these two variables. Like, I'm assuming you read this problem, and you should read this problem as many times as you need to remember it before you start working it. Then compute the total cost, and with any luck you understand which formula to use here. And what is more important, you want to compute the total cost, you might want to have a variable here. Total cost equals to something involving the 2 given. And then when you print, you reference the total cost value, and you will use format. Let me type it up here. Hint use the function format. If you like, instead of the function format, and that is what we covered in chapter 2, instead of that you can use round. I think I must have mentioned round function, and they are different. Feel free to geek out and understand the difference between them. They are used differently. In any case, maybe just use format in this particular setting. And that's all for my comment with this homework.